Good morning, good morning. Predicted Trades family. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody had a nice weekend. Let's go ahead and just dig right in. On the economic calendar for this week, we have a little bit today at 10 a.m. Tomorrow we have PMI, but tomorrow the big thing is we have an FOMC day. And then Thursday, jobless claims, foreign trade balance, and then NFP, non-farm payroll on Friday, and unemployment. So yeah, that's pretty much it on this short week. We have FOMC tomorrow. So it looks like our after hours popped up to squeeze top, then we faded right on back, and we're going to be opening pretty much around the same spot that we opened on Friday. So let's see what today gives us. We've got squeeze clouds above and below. It's like a 4 hours, sorry. We're right at our daily moving averages, daily 15, 8. And up above is our 21 at the squeeze, at the top of the squeeze cloud. So we have our key 3773, which is POC. Looks like it might have stepped up to 3783, which is kind of where it just tapped and caught a bounce. So we kind of have a zone here. What is it? C4. Ooh, I think I nailed it there. So, this was POC on Friday. This 3784 is current POC. So making a nice little zone there of support. Let's see if that zone will stop this downtrend that we have going into open. And if that zone can provide support for us to head back up through 3807, daily 8, up to our zone above, which seemed to stop us overnight, along with that squeeze top. So, let's see if we catch a bounce at this zone to head back up, or if we keep drifting down to the squeeze bottom and to test this trend line from the lows on Thursday and Friday. Not much of a trend line, but since we have slipped below these trend lines from the lows of a couple of weeks ago, right? Added another little trend line there from last week's lows. So let's see if POC can stop us and send us back up. If we want to go to these squeeze bottoms and this trend line for a tap, and key levels below that 3741, 3708, and 3668. So let's see if we can head back up to test this squeeze top and that daily 21 up above, or if we're going to keep heading down to squeeze bottom on NQ. NQ almost at squeeze bottom. We do have a little trend line here from last week's lows that we're starting to get below already. So let's see if on NQ we're going to head down to that squeeze bottom. We're almost there at about 11,400. Also kind of near last week's lows. For a bounce at squeeze bottom to head back up. 11,500, kind of a key number, and splitting this squeeze kind of in half. So let's see if last week low and squeeze bottom can provide support to send us back to the top. Daily 15 and 8 right in here. And the daily 21 right up at 11,800. Ready, looking very similar. Basically, let's see if that 1700 is going to hold it up. These do have 2 hour squeezes, which are starting to pop up. So that we kind of have some support there at that 1700 with a 2 hour squeeze. Let's see if that can hold, send us back up to test these daily moving averages. Or if we slip that 1700 and head down to the squeeze bottom and last week's lows around 1680. YM looking a little bit better, at least not below these daily moving averages. We're near the bottom of the squeeze. So let's see on YM if these daily 15 can hold us up and send us back to squeeze top, or if we're going to continue down to 30,500, squeeze bottoms, last week's lows. Apple. Apple was relatively strong on Friday. It shot up to our zone right at open, fell back to the daily 15 to settle before heading back to our zone here at 138, 138.8, where it pretty much closed the day. Right. Everything gapping down, coming back. Apple going to be opening below this zone. So let's see if it wants to give it a quick tap before heading back down. Or if it wants to catch a quick pop to fill the gap and get up to squeeze top and 140. AMD, we had MU earnings Thursday after the bell, didn't go well. So AMD and chips keep going down, almost a third Keltner. Let's see if that holds it up at around 72 to send it back higher. And when do they report? End of July, so not a huge interest in chips, but they are near third Keltner, so let's see if they are kind of oversold and start to have some rotation into chips. Amazon, decently strong on Friday. Gap downs bringing it back. Let's see if it can hold that recent high that we have plotted here to head up to squeeze tops and that 110. And it looks like the daily 21 will be coming into 111. Let's see if this if it gets through that 107.5. Probably going to get down to this 105 and squeeze bottoms. And maybe establish a higher low than last week to push up off of to get back to the mean. And if we can get through the mean, we have the daily 50 up above, almost coming down to 115. If BA starts to lose the daily moving averages and the squeeze bottom, we're probably going to see market rolling over and firing these 2 hours or 4 hour squeezes to the downside. So let's see if BA can stay above daily moving averages and try to push up to these daily squeeze tops. Ooh, the mean has almost caught up with our key 193. And CAT is at third Keltner, a little oversold. They report at the end of the month. So yeah, let's see if they could, CAT can start to settle at this 175, 170 to head back up. And at this point, yeah, reversion to the mean is just getting back to 193. Google. Let's see, Google. We have this week and next week before she splits, I believe on the 18th. No, 15th. Yep, so we have this week and next week until she splits. So let's see if they want to run Google back up from this 2100 where they last ran her up. Let's see if they want to start loading at around that 2100 or this 2120. Already looking like it's going to be opening near the lows of last week. So let's see if it just takes a quick dip and then gets going. If it slips through 2100, we do have that squeeze bottom. And this zone below. That Google might try to get back to before bouncing and heading back up. GS kind of pinned between all the daily moving averages. So let's see if it can hold 295, the squeeze bottom 294, and start heading back up through the daily 21 and 300 in a bid to get back to squeeze tops 307 and the daily 50. JPM looking a little weaker down below the mean. But let's see if it can settle and start heading higher with GS. And it looks like we have our bank earnings next week. So yeah, next week we start finance earnings. On Meta, you could draw a trend line from last week's highs that we will kind of be at today. If we can get through 160, we'll kind of be breaking that trend line. Maybe get that reversion to the mean back at 170. Let's see if 155 can hold. And the lows from, I guess, a couple of weeks ago. Microsoft. Tons of squeezes right at the daily liquidity, daily 21, 15, 8. So likely going to just bounce around here for now. Let's see if that 254 can hold at these squeeze bottoms. Send it back up to 260 and squeeze tops. We have that daily 50 up at 265. Netflix at the daily 15, daily 8. You know, in a nice uptrend. So let's see if that continues and if they want to push this thing through 180 back to the mean at 183, 184, and the daily 50 up at 188. And if she can start to get through this slight downtrend line, which will be about 186, and that daily 50, maybe can start making the journey up to daily squeeze top. NVIDIA looking weak, weak, weak. We have a 2-day squeeze here, which looks like it could start to be opening up or firing to the downside. Well, let's see if we can, if NVIDIA can hold that 140, get back above this larger time frame 2-day squeeze, and push off of 145 in a bid to try to get back to the moving averages above, or if it's just going to keep slipping down to that third Keltner. On QQQ, we've got squeeze bottom down at last week's lows, 277. Let's see if that can hold. Send us back up through this zone, which I've left on at least because it was where we stopped on Friday and came back and then fought back too. And we just keep interacting with it. So when we're above it, you know, leaning more upside. When we're below it, it's kind of a rejection point. So let's see if squeeze bottom can hold. Send us back up through this zone to get to squeeze top. In a mission to try to get back to the daily 21, which should be stepping down to about 287. Roku, not as strong of an uptrend as we saw over on Netflix. Let's see if this 80 and last week's low can hold and send Roku back up to the daily moving averages above. Snow, decently strong on Friday. Popped hard at open and then fought its way back. With the gap down, let's see if the daily 8 can hold on Snow and send it back up. Looks like it was pinned between the daily 8 and daily 50 on Friday. So let's see if that daily 8 can hold, get us back above that daily 50, and fire this squeeze to the upside to hit this 2-day squeeze top. SPX filled this gap, but just going to leave it to see if we keep interacting with it, because it is kind of bridging between that 3800 and 3825. Going to be opening back down, and we did have a squeeze intact, 1 hour and 2 hour. So let's see how we deal with squeeze top and bottom today. Let's see if squeeze bottom holds and sends us back up to squeeze top. We do still have an old gap back here on SPY that we did not quite fill. So that is looming down below if we start to lose 274 and fire the squeeze to the downside. And getting back to a 365, fills that gap. It's also got the second Keltner down in that little gap zone. So we have that target to the downside. Should we start to lose 374? Well, let's see if 374 can hold, squeeze bottom can hold, and send us back up through the daily moving averages, the 15 and 8, to get back to the 21, back up at 385 likely today in this squeeze top. Oh, come on, Toss. What are you doing? There we go. Tesla is wedging tighter and tighter, starting to slip that uptrend, the trend line from the lows pre-market, and the squeeze is getting tighter and tighter. The bottom of the squeeze down, right down at our zone, around 657. Top of the squeeze at our next zone, 690. Tesla's been so clean off of these key levels, and look, it just settled right in between those zones, and so the squeeze clouds settle in. So let's see if we want to revisit 657, or if squeeze bottom can hold us up at that 666 that they love to play at, to send us back through 681 to get to the zone above, and to get back above 700, where the daily 21 is likely going to fall today. And last but not least, VIX. VIX finally got on Friday a fade below 28, got down to 27, where we have squeezed bottoms that send us right back up. So we're going to be dealing with the same levels that we did on Friday with VIX. Let's see if it wants to get up to 30 and test this squeeze top, which would send everything to its squeeze bottoms. Oh. Or let's see if 29 and this 29.2 stop VIX and send it back down through these daily moving averages below 28 to 27 again. But we have FOMC tomorrow, guys, and we have squeezes around us, so we are likely going to just chop into tomorrow. So good luck today. Hopefully this was helpful, and we'll see you in the chat room.